There we go. All right, hello everyone, and welcome to today's video. In today's video, I'm going to be doing the test runs for 3.6 Phase 2. But before I get into those, I'm going to do a little bit of a demonstration of Fischl. This is my build for Fischl, so I feel like this is a little bit better than doing her actual test run, which is absolutely nothing like the way I've built her. So let's go ahead and just take a quick look at what I did. So I built her kind of as I feel like the way that you go about building Fischl is figuring out the exact balance of what you want to do as far as her physical attack and her electro damage. So if you look at what I have, you can see that I have a little bit of both. I have 46.6 electro damage bonus. I also have a 25% physical damage bonus. Her weapon that I have on her is the Rust. I believe that the demo is using the stringless, which is also a good option for her. The Rust will trend more towards the physical damage because it increases the normal attack damage by 80%. It does penalize the charged attack by 10%, and that does not get better as you refine it. But this otherwise gives her a lot of attack. For artifacts, I went with the 4-piece Pale Flame, which is where we're getting the physical damage 25% from. The goblet is an electro damage goblet, so that's where she's getting her electro damage from. Now this particular set, that I have seen this confuse some people, and it overall I would say this set is not ideal right now. I would like to work on this a little bit more, and at some point I might actually complete the all my work in the Emblem of Severed Fate domain and actually have a chance to go back and use this. But anyway, the 4-piece set, when an elemental skill hits an opponent, the attack is increased by 9% for 7 seconds, and it can stack twice. Her elemental skill is Night Rider, which is Oz, and you'll see this as it goes in. Midnight Phantasmagoria and Night Rider are kind of the same thing, although with the Pale Flame, keep in mind that Night Rider is the only one that's going to trigger it. So I'm going to just go ahead and demonstrate.
I hear the voice of fate, speaking my name in humble supplication. I created another universe and found it.
But anyway, let's go ahead. I'm going to start off by putting Barbara in so that we can activate Throwing Tales of Dragon Slayers. You'll also notice I have Yanfei and Xinyan in my party. That's just to give a double pyro to give her a little bit more attack. I don't need to activate her skill, but I will. Switch to Fischl, call Oz, and then just spam the normal attack. Now you may notice I'm not actually charging my attack. Oz is doing all the elemental damage I need. And done. Just like that. This is actually pretty good. It works very well against the fungi. By the way, those are all artifacts if you ever want to come around here. I'm going to leave them on because I need to do that. I need them there for a video that I'm going to work on later. So again, I demonstrated it. So I start off with Barbara, switch to Fischl, summon Oz. Now, once Oz is on the field, he's going to easily get those 2 attacks that will give her the 4-piece Pale Flame at maximum effectiveness. And there you go. So yeah, that I think works pretty good. Keep in mind those are also all 3 of these are artifacts in case you ever want to come back. And in case you're wondering where here is, it's right here in the temple. Just warp in right there, and then just go this way. Can't miss. There's some other artifacts right around here. There's also some artifacts behind you if you want. Yeah, you'll reach your 100. You'll be reaching your 100 quota in no time. No, there's no. Okay, so anyway, that's how I now. If you aren't that big on physical damage, you can also go for electro damage. I believe that's the as far as the artifact set. I believe they went with a two-piece gladiator finale, which would be the same as any attack 18%, as well as the two-piece thundering fury. So you could do something like that if you wanted, or you could go ahead and do something else. You could do a four-piece thundering fury. I think that would work particularly well, especially if you're going to stack a lot of EM. I don't really use that much EM on Fischl simply because she's not going to do very much reaction damage, since it's mostly her spamming the normal attack alongside boss. Okay, so we're going to move right along to Candace right now. And so let's go ahead and pull her up, go to her talents. I'm gonna just skip for all of these. I'm gonna skip the normal attack, because normal attack really isn't that much. Now for Candace's skill, if you've used Beidou, this will look very familiar. If you tap her skill, she rushes forward with her shield, dealing hydro damage to opponents in front of her. If you hold it down, she'll raise a shield to block incoming attacks from nearby opponents, forming a barrier that absorbs damage based on her maximum HP, and absorbs hydro damage. The barrier lasts until the elemental skill is unleashed. After holding for a certain period of time, Candace will finish charging, and when the skill button is released, the skill duration expires. Shortish version you hold it down, creates a shield, let it go, shield does hydro damage. That's pretty much the short version of that. And it scales on her maximum HP, so that will become, that's probably gonna give you a clue as to which artifact set to go for. The Wagtail Tide is her burst, and she raises her weapon and calls on Divine Blessing that deals AoE hydro damage based on her maximum HP. Again, this is I've seen a lot of hydro characters in this game that scale a lot of things based on their HP. So this could be something that we'll have to keep in mind when we go into the next chapter. This effect has the following properties. Characters deal increased elemental damage with their normal attacks. I'm assuming that's relevant to the characters that deal elemental damage with their normal attacks. Whenever a character takes the field, they'll unleash a rippling wave of water that deals hydro damage to nearby opponents. There's a limited number of waves that can be triggered in the duration of the skill. As you can see, it is 3 for this demo. And sword, claymore, and pole armor wielding characters under this effect will obtain hydro and fury, which I'm sure some people will like, some people will hate. Then, if Candace is hit by an attack in the whole duration of her skill, that skill finishes charging instantly. This character is affected by her burst, will deal 0.5% increased damage to opponents for every 1,000 points of Candace's maximum HP when they deal elemental damage with their normal attacks. and her talent decreases climbing stamina consumption, which of course does not stack. Okay, so having gone through all that stuff. Oh, other thing to keep in mind, just because I know people look at the energy cost. Her energy cost is 60, so it's on the low end for first. So let's see what weapon. Yeah, good luck with that. The catch is one of the premier energy recharge weapons. I don't think very many people will have this on her. There are certainly other energy recharge weapons you can get that is not the catch. I would imagine this is either going to be on Raiden Shogun if you have her and not her weapon, and Xiangling otherwise. But, okay, see what they gave her for artifacts. Wondering if it was going to be the new set, and it's not. Two-piece tenacity makes sense. Emblem of Severed Fate, I'm not sure does. So they went with one of the premier energy recharge weapons, and then they went with a two-piece energy recharge, which doesn't make. I don't know if that makes much sense, given that her energy cost is only 60. I would perhaps wanted to go for more HP, maybe. Her crits are low. I don't think that I disagree that the energy recharge needs to be this high. She's in a and they didn't give her any hydro damage. Okay. Suffice to say, she is very much a support character. From everything that I've seen so far. So let's see if I can use the skill a little bit better this time than I did before.
You're exposed.
Okay, that wasn't too bad.
Come a little closer.
Okay, back.
Pin them down.
Okay, that wasn't too bad. That was a pretty good hit. Just wipe this one out. Okay. Okay, so her shield does a decent amount of it.
Hear my prayer.
Dodge this.
Come a little closer.
Cool it.
Let's try that one more time. Let's try the skill one more time.
You're exposed.
But yeah, if you can get them to surround that, it will do they'll do a decent amount. There's the tap right there. Okay. Skill does take its time to recharge.
You're exposed.
Yeah, so this is her skill seems to be kind of good for fending off kind of waves of smaller enemies like the hilly trolls here. Okay.
We shall prevail.
Dodge this.
So this works out good. So during the burst, her basically Kaya's normal attacks were doing hydro damage. And also infused fire, so that can really freeze things up.
Hear my prayer.
Watch this again.
Dodge this.
Just like that. So I feel like I kind of get the I kind of understand why
Don't be such a brute.
I see where they're kind of going with the whole idea of
grant us your blessing.
I'm spending a lot of time pinning these village trolls down to the corner, down to the border of the ring. Probably don't want to.
You're in for a little shock.
But yeah, I think as far as damage goes, I feel like you're probably not gonna be impressed with. And if you are going to build her to do damage, you really gotta stack as much HP as possible. I'm drawing a blank on what the new set is, but we do have a new set that gives you HP on the 2-piece set. So I think if I was going to make a recommendation based on what I've seen here, I might say go for the 2-piece set for tenacity and the 2-piece set for that other HP. So, that probably know which one it is better than I do. So I think that's where I would go with that. I don't think she needs the energy recharge as much as the game thinks she does. But I still would go with an energy recharge weapon just so that you're covered there. Yeah. But overall, she's kind of more of a support, so I wouldn't expect so. I think that it's more important to consider that for her rather than her personal damage. It's fine. Not, I don't think I need right now. So let's go ahead and move along to our 5-star rerun. So I'm doing all the reruns first, and then I'll go and do the new. So Ganyu is basically one of the top cryo DPSs in the game. We just had Ayaka not too long ago. She is one of the other ones. So if you tried to get Ayaka and you didn't, you could perhaps go for Ganyu. So let's take a look at her talents. So her skill, leaving a single Ice Lotus behind, Ganyu dashes backwards and deals AoE cryo damage. The Ice Lotus continuously taunts surrounding opponents, attracting them to attack it. Its endurance scales on her maximum HP, and the bloom, when destroyed or once its duration ends, deals AoE cryo damage. First, coalesces atmospheric frost and snow to summon a sacred cryo pearl that exorcises evil. During its ability duration, the pearl will continuously rain down shards of ice, striking opponents within its AoE and dealing cryo damage. And her other talents, after firing a frost flake arrow, which is a charged attack, crit rate of subsequent frost arrows and their resulting bloom effects is increased by 20% for 5%. So she basically gets crit rate boosts as she continues to fire, and it's right up here. So basically, a charged attack. First one fires an icy arrow that deals crowd damage. Then the second one fires off the frost flake arrow. That's what that referred to. That does crowd damage. Blooms after hitting the target, dealing AoE damage. And Celestial Shower, which is a burst, grants a 20% crowd damage bonus to active party members in the AoE. So and she refunds 15% of the ore when crafting bow type weapon. So I think that there's not now her typical 5-star weapon that the game associates with her is the Amos bow. Increases normal and charged attack damage, and after a normal or charged attack is fired, damage dealt increases by a further 8% every 1 second. The arrow is in the air for up to 5 times. So you want to attack from distance so that you get more of that boost. So, but yeah, the Amos bow would tends to be the one that we associate with her. The Amos bow is good for literally any character that uses a bow that's going to use a lot of charged attacks. And of course, they gave her the Blizzard Strayer set. There's no reason to do anything else, in my opinion. 15% crowd damage bonus on 2-piece, and on the 4-piece, she gets crit rate boost by 20% for opponents affected by cryo, and an additional 20% if that opponent is frozen. So yeah, that would. So they 57% kind of high for crit rate, given that she will regularly be affecting her opponents with cryo, so that will go up automatically, and if she freezes them, you could almost max it out. Against frozen opponents, that would essentially be 97.1%. So I think crit rate's a little high. I would perhaps want to go a little bit more on crit damage. Energy recharge, considering that her burst is 60. Yeah, you're not going to need much for energy recharge, so 135 might be okay. And of course, you want the crowd damage bonus, so that would come from Goblet. Okay, so that should work pretty well.
Should we
that's
really
that's
be
a
off work
really
this early?
that's a really good build
There is
for
still a
Ganyu,
lot left
except
to
like
do.
I said, maybe a little bit too high on crit rate. But they did kind of pair her with Kaya, which is also cryo, and Barbara. So let's see if this works out just as well.
Let's dance. No touching.
Okay, actually, this is not going to work as well here, because these are all
Access denied.
working out. Actually, I take it back. This is working out just fine. Honestly, I don't really use a lot of. I tend to use, if you remember back from my demonstration on Fischl, I didn't really use her charged attack that much because I mostly use her normal attacks. But here you'd want to use her charged attacks more. Okay, that's doing pretty well. Kind of, sort of.
Go,
All right,
Barbara, go! Blaze over. No touching.
Yeah, no, I see the same thing. Well, that was okay. My connection was having a little bit of an issue, but apparently I still won. Cool. So anyway, so overall, yeah, I would have to get used to her charged attack, but if you can get used to her charged attack and attack from distance, I think it'll be just fine. My freeze team works pretty well, so I probably won't try to mess with it, add someone new to it. I've got other things I need to fix. Okay, so we're gonna do Kaveh next, and then we'll finish with Baizhu. So these are the first times I'm going to be using either of these two characters. And this is going to be where I'm going to make my decision whether to pull or not. Because I already have Fischl at C6, so there's no reason for me to pull for her. I'm not certain that I can really make use of Candace, so she's kind of a non-factor. So we're gonna see what I think of Kaveh. So let's take a look at his talents first. Nothing unusual about his normal attacks. So let's go to the skill. Using Merok's mapping ability, which I believe is his base, for offensive purposes, initiating a radial scan that deals AoE dendro damage. Also scan all dendro cores in its AoE and cause them to burst. I've heard some people theorize that this might not be as good as it sounds, because causing all the dendro cores to immediately burst could mean that you only get, if the cores behave in the way that we normally expect them to, you might only just get credit for 2 of them. So if this causes 2 of them to burst at the same time versus causing 6 of them to burst at the same time, you get to do the same amount of damage. So, but that's just the theory. I probably won't be able to do the deeper dive necessary to test that out here, but there's a lot of really smart YouTubers out there that have probably already done it. So keep that in mind if you're going to go. His burst completely unleashes Merok's energy and creates a cubic scan space, dealing AoE dendro damage to all opponents within it, causing all dendro cores in AoE to burst, and granting Kaveh the following enhanced combat abilities. Increases Kaveh's normal charged and plunging attack AoE, converts his attack damage to dendro damage that cannot be overwritten. That's usually good. All dendro cores created by all your own party members through bloom reactions will deal additional damage when they burst. Not bad. Increases Kaveh's resistance to interruption. These effects will be canceled once Kaveh leaves the field. So he has to be on the field during the burst. Okay, and his energy cost is 80, so that's high enough that you should be considering his ER, more so than we saw earlier. Damage dealt by a dendro core, including damage from version and hyperbloom. It's Kaveh. Kaveh will regain HP equal to 300% of his elemental mastery. So he heals himself when damage is dealt by dendro cores. I think they mentioned that. This can be triggered once every 0.5 seconds. That's pretty frequent. During Painted Dome, that's his burst. After Kaveh's normal charge or plunging attacks hits opponents, his elemental mastery will increase by 25. Triggered once every 0.1 seconds, maximum 4 stacks. Its effect will be canceled when Painted Dome's effect ends. Art of Budgeting. Kaveh crafts landscape building and courtyard type furnishings. That's teapot. He has a 100% chance to refund a portion of the materials used. Okay, so he can build teapot stuff cheaply. Okay. I don't know how many of us actually use the teapot. Sing Show is going to be playing with him, so they're setting us up to test his boom. So quite a bit of elemental mastery at 630. which I kind of would expect.
Not again.
Low crit rate, low crit damages across the board. See a good-sized energy recharge. I think that's what you're gonna need for his burst. No dendro damage bonus. Okay. And his maximum HP is not amazingly high. I don't think he had anything. I mean, nothing specifically scales off of it, though. Okay, let's see what he has for his weapon. Okay, so he is a Claymore user. And they gave him Force Regalia, which is an energy recharge weapon. This is probably a really good weapon because it gets you a trigger. It gives you a passive that triggers based on Burning, Quicken, Aggravate, Spread, Bloom, Hyper Bloom, or Version. Of course, not all of those are going to be applicable, but Bloom and Hyper Bloom would be the ones I'd be. So Forced Regalia, I think that's a good weapon. That's a good weapon for him. Of course, if we're talking about energy recharge, also think about the Sacrificial Greatsword. That probably works just as well. Although I don't know if you'll need to end the cooldown of his skill. We'll see how the test runs. Flower of Paradise Lost. Yeah, I can see that. 2-piece set increases the elemental mastery by 80. 4-piece set, the equipping character's Bloom, Hyper Bloom, Version reaction increased by 40%, so forth and so forth. Hopefully you remember what Paradise Lost is. I think that the 4-piece Paradise Lost is the right way to go. I wouldn't have been expecting to see Deepwood Memories here, being that's the big dendro damage one. So no, I think Paradise Lost is good. I just think that I don't know. I'm guessing we can't see the individual artifacts, but I'm guessing they're kind of assuming that he is using an EM goblet instead of the dendro damage goblet. I think that is debatable. Anyway,
Sight clear.
Okay, so that was the skill right there.
Rain outlines your fate. Time to act.
Floors on the skill. And let's detonate. Okay. That did quite a bit of damage.
Body and mind.
Kind of overdid it just a little bit.
Scanning.
Blooms are doing quite a bit of damage, but kind of would expect that. Good, let's try this again. Make sure everyone's affected by Hydro. Then
Sight clear.
A bunch of blooms.
Breaking new ground.
A minor setback.
Scanning.
I messed up a little bit. I messed up. I think this is.
Come at me.
I think this is definitely interesting. Actually, I want to do this one more time. I'll do this one more time because I didn't test Singsho and Kaveh's bursts together. I'd like to try that out a little bit.
Sight clear.
Okay. Now I need to do that again while
Scanning.
okay, Okay, let's try that again. So I'm gonna do this. Just for this part, I'm gonna do the skill first. Affect him with Dendro. Switch to Sing Show. Affect him with Hydro to Blue. Let's switch back to him.
Come at me.
Oh no. I mean, it seems to be working. Part of me is just wondering, is this a little too gimmicky?
Watch and learn. Sight clear.
I mean, yeah, if you can,
outlines your fate.
I think this is the right way to do it.
Scanning.
To focus on Gloom. Okay. Yeah, I think the way that they're demonstrating this is exactly the way you should Kaveh. If you got him and if you built him. To put him on a Bloom team. Sing Show, I didn't check his stats. I have him on I've been trying a lot to build him on a 4-piece emblem of Severed Fate. I'm assuming that the game did something reasonable with him. I think if you kind of went with a good ER on both, good EM on both sides, would probably just bloom everything. So yeah, I would say plausible if you want to make. I would defer to the judgment of people who are smart too. But Flower of Paradise Lost, I would say that is definitely the set I would go with. It's up to me. So now we're on to Dr. Baizhu. I feel like this is going to be the decision making because I'm curious as to whether Dr. Baizhu is someone who might be viable in Love Light. So I see that we're on a team with Lisa and Shinsho. So let's scan through his talents. Normal attack looks normal. Okay, not too much reading. Skill controls a Gossamer sprite that cruises and attacks nearby opponents, dealing dendro damage. After it performs 3 attacks, or if there's no more opponents nearby, the sprite will return, healing all nearby party members based on his maximum HP. So we're dendro, but we're scaling off of HP. Enter, and then the burst enters pulsing clarity state, creating a seamless shield that absorbs dendro damage. While in the state, Baizhu will generate a new seamless shield every 2.5 seconds. Seamless shield will heal your own active character based on Baiju's maximum HP and attack opponents by unleashing spirit veins, dealing dendro damage under the following circumstances. Characters under protection of Seamless Shield and a new shield is generated, or when the Seamless Shield expires. So yeah, more scaling off of HP. Baizhu gains different effects according to the current HP of your current active character. So the shield can moves to the active. When your HP is less than 50%, Baizhu gains a 20% healing bonus. Or HP is equal to or more than 50%, Baizhu gains a 25% dendro damage bonus. Very useful. Characters who are healed by the burst will gain your 1,000 maximum HP that Baizhu possesses that does not exceed 50,000. Will increase the burning bloom whatever. So every 1,000% up to 50,000 increases the elemental reactions by 2. Okay. That's... So if we max that out, that would be 50 times 2, so 100. While the aggravate and spread reaction damage dealt by these characters will be increased by 0.8. So spread and aggravate. This effect lasts 6 seconds. Herbal nourishment. When Baizhu is in the party interacting with certain harvestable items will heal your current active character for 2.5% of Baiju's maximum HP. A reason to pick mint, I guess. Assuming mint is one of the certain harvestable items. Okay. And his weapon. This is his signature weapon, the Jade's False Splendor, which gives him HP. That would, for 3 seconds after using an elemental burst or creating a shield, the equipping character can gain the Primordial Jade Regalia effect, restore 4.5 energy every 2.5 seconds, and gain 0.3 elemental damage bonus for the corresponding elemental type for every 1,000. Okay. Alright. So yeah, I'm not surprised to see that Jade False Splendor is an AP catalyst. So they didn't go all the way to 50,000. They got to 37,000, called it good enough. Not a whole lot of elemental mastery, not a whole lot of attack. Let's see what else he's got. Seemed to like giving crit rate 26%. I'm not really that fond of it that low. I've got 35.9% healing bonus. Energy recharge almost 200. I'll double check what its cost was. I already forgot. And no damage. What was the cost? 80. Yep, that makes sense. Okay, so saw the weapon, see the artifacts now. That's kind of what I expected to see for Candace. So Tenacity of the Millith, 2-piece set, and Baruka Shah's Blow, another HP 2%. So yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And you could stack HP in there. Or you could go for, I guess that might have been what they tried to do. Okay, sure. That makes sense.
A bitter pill to swallow.
Is this just a boomerang effect again? I gotta see that again.
Mind the side effects.
Apparently it is. Okay. It's gonna be this again. Okay. Let's see how this works. Okay.
Protect you, see you.
Need Lisa to
You're in for a little shock.
build up her energy so we can do these two together. Okay. Let's try this.
Taking a turn for the better.
Without
You're open.
Let's spark things up a little.
You're open.
Let me weave you a verse.
Off with you. You're open.
Don't know.
Seems like an emergency.
Rain outlines your fate. Witness the power of Gugwa.
Try not to enjoy this too much.
Remember, health comes first.
Rain cutter. Come a little closer. You're in for a little shock.
I have a thought. Kind of surprised I'm gonna say it. But I think this was the best chance I thought of Baizhu to be interesting, and I am surprised I'm gonna say this, but I was more impressed with Kaveh than I was with Baizhu. Kaveh is gonna be a lot easier to, or Baizhu is obviously gonna heal better than Kaveh because um, but no, I think I could see a lot of ways that Kaveh would work. But what would I do then? I think if I was going to go for it, if I was gonna wish spin, I think I would go for Ganyu. Don't have her, and I don't really have a proper cryo DPS. I think that's where I would. I think that is where I would maybe be interested, and I'm from there. I might look to see if I pull Kaveh, and I'm still not sold on Candace. I have, as I said before, I have Fischl at C6, so pulling her would mean nothing. But I do, if you don't have Fischl, or if you don't have Fischl at C6, I think that's a good. I think she would be a good one to shoot for. I don't think that she can be the only 4-star that you. If you're gonna go for this strictly for the 4 stars, I think I'd want to make sure that you're happy with at least 2 of them. Of course, there's gonna be people who will want Kaveh because he's A, he's new, B, he's Kaveh. It's fine. But those players will probably pull for this one instead. But yeah, I'm going to pass on this. I think there'll be. Um, I feel like personality wise, Kaveh doesn't really work for me. Um, wouldn't stop me from pulling him, and wouldn't stop me from building him if I felt that he could help my team. But no, I probably need to build up, and I feel like this banner probably does. Neither of these banners really help me too much for me personally, and there's probably a better chance of seeing something in 3.7. But having said that, we will get to a point probably soon where we will see the special program announcement for 3.7. I can look at that and see if it looks like there's nothing there. I might take a chance. If I do take any flyers, probably be on Ganyu's banner more than Baizhu. Anyway, that I probably should stop talking. Anyway, if you enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing to this channel. Consider leaving a like. Consider following me on Twitch. Consider leaving me a comment, especially if I got something wrong. I know I got something. I always get something. And with that, I will see you in the next.